Hi, this is Gary from Texas Zone 8B, here to talk to you about 5 of the things that people don't tend to tell you that's going to happen whenever you get chickens on a homestead. A lot of times they like, this isn't a how-to video. This is just some things you have to consider once you're starting to get chickens that sometimes people just don't think about. Chickens can be annoying. That's not the first one. First off, chickens grow fast. Okay, if you're going to say, I'm going to go get me 25 chickens, order through the mail, you get them in, and I'm going to start building my coop when they get in, you're going to run out of time, because 2 things are going to happen. They grow really fast. They're going to start, if you're putting in those tubs or whatever, or something that's of that height, they can jump out of that in 2 to 4 weeks. And so that's how much time you have, and they're going to start flying out. The other thing they're going to do, if you say, hey, I'm going to put them in my living room, they give off a lot of dust, and that little white powdery dust looks like a little flour almost, and it will get all over everything. It will coat the whole, we put them in the garage, and the whole garage has that dust all over it from just having 10 or 15 chickens in a bin. And they don't run all over the garage, they just were in that, in those tubs, and then we took them out and put them in the barn once they got a little older. So they do that a lot. They grow fast and they're very dusty. So just be prepared when you're ready to get the chickens in. You're not going to have a lot of time to build a coop or get something set up. You need to have all that done up ahead of time, which you're probably not going to, but then you could be scrambling. Second thing, prepare for death, okay? Chickens are going to die. You're going to get if you get them in the mail, a lot of times there may be 1 or 2 of them that die for some reason. Even after that, you may lose 1 or 2 that's in the, just something happens. We had one of them time they flew, we had them in a box, and they flew out of the box, and it was cold that night, and he froze to death. Sometimes they just die. Don't really give a reason why. After they get grown, you're gonna have predators. Now we are free range; they can go anywhere on the property. They're not supposed to go in the garden, but that's another issue. But death is going to be part of it. We had a person one time ask, "What's the hardest thing about homesteading if you have kids?" And my wife said the hardest thing is death. You're going to have to deal with death, because if you put animals on a homestead, they're going to die, and so you're going to have that. So if you got kids, just prepare them. Chickens don't live a long time. Chickens are really stupid. They'll do some dumb things and get themselves killed. So that's just be prepared for that. Number 3, if you ever let chickens set on some eggs, or you buy some straight run chickens, you're gonna have to figure out what you can do with the roosters. Okay, I've always said that if you want a rooster, I'll bring you 4 roosters. I'll let you pick whichever rooster that you want, bring them to your house, and as you're picking out the roosters, I'm getting my car and driving and leaving you with all 4. If you ever need a rooster, just talk to somebody that's got chickens. They'll give you one. You don't have to buy a rooster, and you're going to have to figure out, are you going to butcher them, or are you going to try to find a place to take them? If you think you might find somebody that want them. Dual purpose chickens really don't do a very good job of making meat for the birds. So if you do get the meat in the birds, they're not going to produce a lot of meat per chicken. So it's just aggravating. You got to figure out what to do with those roosters. Number 4, this is one that's not doom and gloom. If you're taking those eggs and you're bringing them in, you do not wash those eggs. Those eggs are shelf-stable for about 2 weeks. So you don't have to put those eggs in the freezer or refrigerator. You can leave them outside. You cannot do that with store-bought eggs, because store-bought eggs are washed. Once you wash them, you lose all that protection. There's a film that's around it that will protect those eggs from going bad, and you got about 2 weeks. You do want to bring them in. You don't want to keep, that would mean you keep them out in the barn for 2 weeks. But if you bring them in the house and set them in there, then you got about 2 weeks before you have to use them. Number 5. All your chickens are going to want to tend to molt or quit laying eggs and loose feathers all at the same time. I've got 60 some odd chickens right now. We've went through like 3 weeks. We may get 1 egg a day. The reason, they all decided to molt at one time. There was a big scandal, I guess, and people started talking about Tractor Supply had feed, that the chickens were not doing good on the feed. They quit laying eggs, and it's blamed the Tractor Supply feed. And almost everybody I've seen, I read the deal on, said, and then we switched feed and started laying eggs. Well, yeah, but they're going to do that naturally. So was it the feed or was it not? The only way you could have known is somebody would have taken half a flock and changed feed, and the other flock you fed the other ones, and see if that made a difference. I really think it's just they picked a time to molt. Right now, all of ours are molting. Last year, it was later in the winter when they started molting. But basically, if you're selling eggs, there's gonna be times you may say, I don't have any eggs, because that's the way we are right now. Kind of the extra one I'm gonna talk about, if you have free range chickens, those little devils will get in your garden. Okay, I've got some I was watching here, they know they're not supposed to be in their garden. They'll see me, they'll run off, but they will get back in them. So, you know, if you're going to have a garden, you want to try to make it to where they cannot get in as when they're smaller. Also, you may want to get some of the bigger breeds. I've got some bannies, and they seem to be notorious for flying in trees. Right now, I have some that just flew in the lemon tree, so I have to go chase them out. But they, you know, that's something you have to deal with if you got chickens in a free range. Also, if you have free range chickens, there's going to be, you know, we've lost some through hawks. We've lost some through, had a fox come up here, and I was finding out where the fox was getting in, so I was able to keep him out, and he's up this long since then. We haven't really lost any of the hawks this year. Sometimes the chickens kind of figure that out. I think we just hadn't had that many hawks this year. But hawks, owls, raccoons, sometimes even possums will get in there, dogs will get in there. But even if you keep them enclosed, you know, I've seen people have some pretty, you know, good coops. They can still get in there also. So just be prepared for that. You know, especially if you're range, you're gonna lose some for hawks. Anyway, just letting you know, hopefully point out some pointers you may not have thought about. Thanks for watching.